You work, you get paid, but somehow the money disappears. It's incredibly frustrating, right? You put in the hours, you see that paycheck hit your account, and then, poof, before you even realize what happened, you're just sitting there waiting for the next one.
So what if the problem isn't how much you earn, but a few habits you repeat every month without even noticing? Well, today we're exposing 7 money habits that could be keeping you broke. Because look, most people think building wealth is strictly about pulling in this massive income. But honestly, the truth is usually way closer to home.
Welcome to Wealth Forge. If you're serious about building a stronger financial future, like, subscribe, and share this explainer. Let's get started.
All right, let's dive into Section 1, the income illusion, covering habits 1 and 2.
Habit number 1, spending first and saving what's left. Look, here's the reality of human nature. If money is just sitting there in your checking account, you are absolutely going to find a reason to spend it. I mean, it's Friday night, right? You decide to order some expensive takeout, or maybe you're scrolling, see a targeted ad for some fresh shoes, and boom, you just click buy. If your game plan is to just pay your bills, live your life, and kind of cross your fingers hoping there's some money left over at the end of the month to save, yeah, the math almost never works in your favor. You usually end up saving absolute zero. So what's the fix? It's the fundamental wealth-building strategy of paying yourself first. This means you literally automate a transfer to your savings or investment accounts the exact second your paycheck hits. Seriously, the absolute best way to do this is to set up a direct deposit split right through your HR department. That way the money never even touches your primary checking account. You secure your future first, and you just live on whatever's left over.
Now, the sneaky cousin of habit 1 is habit number 2, the lifestyle inflation trap. So let's say you get a fantastic raise at work. Awesome, congratulations. But suddenly you feel like you deserve a reward, right? You decide it's time to upgrade your car. Then, well, because you're making more, you buy the newest smartphone. Next thing you know, you're eating at way nicer restaurants, and suddenly those little weekend getaways turn into these crazy expensive international vacations. So what actually happened here? Imagine you got a $5,000 raise, but immediately took on a $500 a month car payment. Sure, your salary definitely went up, but your actual ability to build wealth, it didn't change one single bit. Your expenses just grew to completely swallow up your new income. If you automatically inflate your lifestyle every single time your income goes up, you're just going to stay stuck on this super frustrating hamster wheel, running faster and faster, but never actually moving forward.
Moving on to Section 2, the minimum debt trap. This is habit 3.
Now, before we really dive into habit number 3, I want to be super clear about something. There is absolutely no shaming here. Debt happens to the best of us. And look, sometimes it's literally just necessary to survive. But how you handle it, that totally determines your future. Habit number 3 is living on minimum payments. Listen, credit card companies absolutely love minimum payments because they are mathematically designed to keep you paying incredibly high interest for years, sometimes even decades. You might feel like you're handling your debt because, hey, you're making those monthly payments on time. But in reality, barely any of that money is touching the actual principal balance. So here's the game plan. First, you got to stop adding to the balance. You have to stop the bleeding immediately. Second, find a way, anyway, to pay more than the minimum. And third, build a realistic repayment strategy. You could use the debt avalanche method, where you aggressively attack the balance with the highest interest rate first, or maybe the debt snowball method, where you pay off the smallest balance first just to build some incredible psychological momentum. Honestly, either way works. You just need to systematically destroy that high interest debt so you can finally reclaim your income.
All right, Section 3, the status game. Let's talk about habit 4.
Habit number 4 is buying things to impress other people. Guys, there is a massive fundamental difference between looking wealthy and actually becoming wealthy. Expensive designer clothes, luxury cars, the absolute latest tech gadgets, these are just status purchases. They signal to the world that you have money. But ironically enough, buying all those depreciating assets is the exact thing preventing you from actually building wealth. True wealth is often completely silent. Have you ever noticed the invisible rich? These are the folks driving 10-year-old Hondas who actually have 7-figure investment portfolios just sitting there. True wealth is having a fully funded emergency fund, a paid-off mortgage, it's peace of mind. Those things don't flash on Instagram, but they give you absolute freedom. The harsh truth is, no one cares about your designer shoes as much as you do. If you're constantly spending your hard-earned cash just to create this illusion of wealth for people you barely even know, you're literally trading your long-term financial security for temporary, hollow applause.
Up next is Section 4, the preparation gap, covering habits 5 and 6.
Habit number 5 is having no emergency fund. Look, life is incredibly unpredictable, and just assuming everything will always go perfectly, that's a massive financial trap. Without a financial buffer, a single unexpected event goes from a bump in the road to a complete disaster. Imagine it's a random Tuesday morning, you're driving to work, and
bam, your transmission completely drops on the highway. Suddenly you're staring down a $2,000 repair bill. If you don't have cash set aside for that, how do you pay for it? You're immediately forced right back onto high-interest credit cards, which throws you right back into that debt trap we just talked about. Gradually building an emergency fund, like starting with just $1,000 and eventually growing it to cover 3 to 6 months of living expenses, is literally your financial armor. It's not just about the math here, it's about the psychological peace of mind. An emergency fund turns what could be a life-altering crisis into just a minor temporary inconvenience. Okay, habit number 6 is financial procrastination, and specifically, waiting for the perfect time to invest. I mean, how many of us have said things like, I'll invest when I make more money, or I'll start next year, or my personal favorite, I'll invest when the market goes down. The brutal truth here is that there is absolutely no perfect time. By waiting on the sidelines trying to predict the market or holding out for some massive salary bump, you are losing out on your single most valuable asset, time. And with time comes the unbelievable magic of compound interest. Let me give you a super quick example. If you invest just $100 a month starting at age 25, you will have significantly more money by retirement than someone who invests twice as much but waits to start at age 35. It's wild. Consistently investing appropriate amounts over long periods of time, even if it's literally just $50 a month to start, is infinitely more practical and way more profitable than waiting for a perfect moment that simply will never arrive.
And don't leave yet, because number 7 may be the simplest habit on this list, but ignoring it can quietly destroy every financial plan you make.
Welcome to Section 5, the Silent Destroyer. Habit 7.
Habit number 7 is never tracking where the money goes. Think of your finances exactly like a bucket. You can pour as much water or, income into that bucket as you want. But if there are dozens of tiny hidden holes at the bottom, that bucket is never ever going to fill up. Now, I know tracking your money sounds boring, and yeah, there's definitely a lot of friction involved in sitting down with a spreadsheet. But if you don't know where your money is going, it is absolutely impossible to change your financial trajectory. I'm talking about those unused gym memberships, the 5 different streaming services you completely forgot about, those daily premium coffees. They all add up to thousands of dollars a year. The really good news, though, is that technology makes this incredibly easy today. You can just link your accounts to a budgeting app, or you can use a super simple framework like the 50-30-20 rule, where 50% goes to your needs, 30 to wants, and 20 to savings. You've got to find the leaks and plug those holes in your bucket. Knowledge is power, right? And knowing exactly where every single dollar goes puts you firmly back in the driver's seat.
Finally, Section 6, your next financial step. Let's talk about breaking the cycle.
All right, let's do a rapid review. 1. Spending first instead of paying yourself. 2. Letting your lifestyle inflate with your income. 3. Trapping yourself with minimum payments. 4. Buying things just to impress others. 5. Living without the safety net of an emergency fund. 6. Waiting for the perfect time to invest. And 7. Never tracking your money. The core takeaway I want you to grasp from this explainer is actually really simple. Building wealth isn't only about earning more, it's also about aggressively controlling what happens to the money you already earn.
I want to hear from you now. Which of these 7 habits do you think hurts people's finances the most? Drop the number down in the comments below and tell us why. Seriously, is it the debt trap? Is it lifestyle inflation? Let's get a good discussion going down there.
If this explainer helped you out, subscribe to Wealth Forge, hit that like button, and share this with someone who's working toward a better financial future. Taking control of your money starts with simply acknowledging these habits, and the next step is actually taking action. Remember, you are the CEO of your own life. So, are you running a profitable business, or are you heading for bankruptcy? Something to think about. Thanks so much for being here, and we'll see you next time.